almost white eco.
A good little nice little kit from your
I don't know if I met him up in Georgia, but I can't remember.
grocery bags that they give you at Walmart and
I guess we were expecting him
HEB and like that. You save
to
them.
go, so
And you can wrap them around those and bag them like that, and you can window load them and it's got insulation. Put enough of them on those hose
about
kits.
an hour ago from Ron, W6RM, and he's sounding good. He's says he's over there in a couple of days, so called up and wished me Merry Christmas. So I don't know, maybe you've heard from him too. But sounds like he's doing good. I was real happy about that. So, all right. If we have anybody else wants to get on the line in the AMI, please come now. Anything on my local receiver or
usually, the garden hose you got to take off. Usually the people don't normally have a problem with the proximity of the house. Because down here, they can generally get that cold. It's
86 BWS, November 6th, Whiskey Hotel Kilo. Well, some of you guys are making me awful cold. I have 44 degrees outside, according to my weather station, but I'm toasty inside. 84% humidity. So it's a little on the chilly side here for Southern California. It's been a lot colder in the last week or so than normal to me in my area here. But it will warm up again, and solstice coming up. I'm not even saying that right. So we start getting the longer days again pretty soon here, and I'll look forward to it. I don't like working at 3 or 4 in the afternoon. I like to be able to get out a little later at night. But that's the way it goes. And I'm enjoying always getting on the radio and listening to people talk. And I'm talking back a little bit. So we're right back to you there, Ron. Katie, yes, and everybody is sounding really good tonight. And 6WHK.
Yeah, okay, Phil. In 6WHK, 86 WS. Yeah, I found it cold. It's been freezing here at night. And not exactly bike riding right, so I've been having to tough that out. But, what is it? Let's see. I think Wednesday will be the winter solstice. Shortest day of the year. Thank goodness. Days will start getting longer again. Looking forward to that and some more.
What I need to do is, I've got enough room on top of the house. Before I had to figure out how to do it that way. I figured out which would be an end to the project immediately.
I'll take the 80 degrees every day in the year. Happy camper, no doubt.
With this 1,200 square foot house.
So we have anybody who wants to get on the early Monday night AMR?
Just the right side.
Yeah, hello, George. Go ahead.
Yeah, she did me, Ron. I'm waiting on
Yeah, I think she probably noticed.
Right now at about 25. Yeah.
Well, it's like a hard-on Johnson spur right in the
coming up.
Driver, like Miss Daisy.
And, let me see, let me back off the power here. All right. That's, hello. And, hold on. Hello. Hello. That's just good. Close enough. People let me know I have...
Say again?
Anyway. I'm lazy tonight. I turned on the AI comm here. It was all ready to go pretty close. And
I think I lost
out
him
here.
here.
Maybe I'll turn on one of the other radios. But, haven't used this for a while. Looks like I'm a little lacking there. Oh, I see.
Yeah, you came back up a little then, Glenn, but it's, I think the band's starting to go up and down a little bit.
How come my audio is way down? Hello. Huh. Well, we'll have to fool with it here. Maybe it's just because it's solid state radio. Thanks, Ron, for picking this up. Yeah, here it's gonna maybe get a little warmer. That'll be nice. It has been a little bit on the chilly side. So guys were talking about it earlier on our 4:30 net today. All right, we're ready to go. I've been bought a new computer. Boy, what a pain that has been. It's still in the midst of pain trying to get everything working like it's supposed to. And boy, oh boy, this Windows 11 is something else. Not tying everything to the cloud and makes it quite difficult. So that's what I've been doing today, trying to get the computer working, and I did make some progress. So that's always wonderful when you make a little progress. KD6 VWS, W6YUC.
Yeah, okay, George. W6YUC, KD6 VWS. Yeah, you're sounding good. Again, we were on your normal rig because that sounds basic. The audio didn't sound like any of your boat anchors. And so, when we first checked in, I go, man, how come George is so weak? He must be on the wrong antenna or something. And we warmed up the amp, kicked that on, and definitely made a difference. I could still hear you both there. So I guess that was probably 25 watts. Yeah, there's a lot of fast QSB on everybody, but the signals are strong, so hopefully we'll hold in there. Like I said, Saturday night, the band came up there on us on the Swan night Saturday night. So, all right, before I get a hold of Steve, let me see if there's anybody else who wants to get on the early 99 AM9 net. Please come down.
W8 Victor Golf. Good evening, Ron.
Well, there's a strong signal from Tucson. So what's going on there in Tucson?
Oh, hey, Ron. KD6 VWS, W8 Victor Golf. Well, it's not too bad down here in Tucson. It gets cold in the evenings, Ron. We've had some frost and that kind of stuff, but I feel a lot better about it now. I just got back from a couple of days up in Colorado, up in the mountains, and I don't think it got much above 8 degrees. And with the wind chill, it was down about like -5 or something. So we're happy to be back home with just the regular cold weather. All right. Anyways, put me on the list. We'll stand by for the net. I'm hearing everybody on the R390. I don't think I'm going to even need KFS, but maybe I'll boot the computer up just in case, Ron. In case maybe the band changes, you never know. Anyways, thanks so much for picking me up here and running the earlies. KD6 VWS, W8VG.
WA9JIB is here.
Okay, Bob's recognized. Yeah, okay. Being up in Colorado, I don't know if you're up in the Rockies or what, but yeah, making me get the shivers thinking about that, yeah. So now you're back down to the base camp where some halfway decent camp weather is. All righty, you are on the list. Go ahead, Bob. WA9JIB, KD6 VWS.
Yeah, hi Ron and the gang, WA9JIB here. Yeah, getting in a little late. Didn't think I was going to be that busy, but I had a bunch of phone calls after do, so anyway, here I am. Yeah, chilly here in La Cañada, but we love it that way. And a nice sunny day, cool night. I don't know, it's probably down to the 40s, something like that. But for a kid who grew up in Chicago, it's no big deal. So let's see, just trying to get ready for Christmas stuff here. Pass along that my friend K6 helped me out the X-ray lab passed away unexpected. And so Lauren and I are kind of going over and looking over all of the stuff we've got, figuring out what to do with it. Something may get advertised here on the AMI. So anyway, I was kind of sad to see it go. He was a good friend. But anyway, these things happen. So I'll turn it back to you. A minute from next time. 86 GWS, WA9.
Yeah, okay, Bob. Yeah, sorry about DDX. Lauren told us on that, so yeah, we're expecting more. All right, Steve, Camp 6SYD, are you there? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm all set to take the list, and I can still hear you pretty good. So let's do it, Ron. Thanks.
Here we go. First on the list is Ken K6CJA. Ken K6CJA. Well, you can put me on there, KD6BWS. And then we have KM6QQU, Mike. KM6QQU. And we have from Tyler, Texas, WA6JKN, Kevin, WA6JKN. And then we have Lauren, K6ZTA, K6ZTA. Then we've got Paul, N6VZY, N6VZY. Mom Clark checked in from Arizona, but he said he wasn't hanging around. It's W7WRX Clark, but you can give him a call. He's got a 20V2 that he just fired up, just got done working on, and he's testing it out. W7WRX Clark. One, we have Phil, N6WHK. N6WHK. And we have Andy, KD6TKX. KD6TKX. Andy. And then we have Jay, NY6L. NY6L, Jay. And then we've got George, W6YEC. W6YEC, George. And then we have also George, W8VG. W8 Victor Golf, George. And then last but not least, WA9JIB, Bob. WA9JIB. So that's the list as I have it. Steve, go ahead.
Okay, Ron, and I just keyed up on somebody, so who else wants on the list? I'll unkey and KF6SYD listening.
WA6JUS.
Okay, John. I hate it. I hit the button there. Here, like
And I just keyed up over somebody. So I've got you, John, on the list. Is there anyone else who wants on the list? Please call now. All right, real good. Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Monday night AMI Net, West Coast AMI Net. And the purpose of this net is to promote the preservation, restoration, and enjoyment of AM equipment, and to enjoy communicating using the mode of AM with a carrier. That's what we like to do here. Anyone generating an AM signal is invited to check into the net tonight. You don't have to be a member of AMI to check in to the net tonight, but if you'd like to be a member, send $3 to AM International, care of KW1I. That's Dale Gagnon. Sharon says that's the way he says it. Gagnon. The address is the number 9 Dean Avenue, Bow, New Hampshire 03304, and it takes him a few months to get those out. I'll be your host tonight, KF6SYD, Steve in Long Beach, AMI 1708, a CC8 AM 1000D transmitter, and listening on, NC300 for a change. How about that? That's nice right now. There's a website if you want to go to it for the group here, and the Wednesday night group as well. WestCoastAMI.com. West Coast AMI, all one word. When I call you, please give your name, location, AMI number if you have one, and tell us whatever you want. Tell us about your equipment or whatever. It's fun to get together with everybody a couple of times a week and chat back and forth a little bit. Let me know if you'd like to be on the list for the roundtable that will follow the net tonight, and I'll put you down for that. I'll periodically check to see if there's any folks that came along a little late that weren't on the list, and put you on, so be patient. Or don't be patient, just jump in and give callers. Let's go ahead and do a tune-up, and then we'll start things off.
W8 Victor Golf, tuning up and ready for the net. NY6L, Hysteria.
Alright, that was very nice sounding. And Bob, WA9JIB, you came a little late, and we were talking about K6DDX, and I was talking about how we would always hang around with him, or he would hang around with us, Valerie and I, during, the get-togethers, and about how he, up at Rocco's, I don't know if you were at Rocco's for vintage years ago, he had grand piano and started playing it, and songs just kept coming out. He played for the longest time while we were there at a vintage sideband get together. So we did that before you got here, Bob, and we will miss Bob, K6DDX. From now on, we'll miss having him around to talk to. Let's go ahead and start things off again. K6CJA, how you doing tonight? It's your turn.
I'm doing okay. Kilowatt 6 Charlie, Juliet Alpha. Okay, signals are pretty good. Hello to everybody that checked in. On the list. The copy everybody. And the sideband stuff faded away. But you got some Queen Silver Baker on you there, Steve. Anyway, the name here is Ken. AMI number is 993. And we're running the regular homebrew transmitter, of 813s, modulated by 811As Class B, of course, 400 watts through the bird meter, so a 75 meter doublet, commercial microphone, and a 75 A4 receiver. So that's all we have. Low on the swamp, no on the round table, we'll listen. K6CJA, go ahead.
All right, Ken, usual big clear signal in the Long Beach. Good to hear you tonight. Stay warm. Next up, Ron, thank you for the list and keeping the frequency hopping every week on Monday. K6VWS, go ahead, Ron.
All right, Steve. KF6SYD and my group, K6VWS. We're in here in Joshua Tree, running the Valiant, and even with a Turner Plus 3 microphone, and receiving on the NC125. Got the Q multiplier kicked out because signals are sounding nice, and that's feeding SA2040 Q-kit antenna tuner, so that's up to the infrared long wire, up about 25 feet. It's about 5/8 wavelength on this frequency with quarter wave counterpoise. And I don't know if you heard, but Ron called me, W6LM, just before the net, and sounded like he was doing real good, and he might be getting on the air here pretty quick. In the next couple of days, this is just going to pick up a microphone from Wayne, and hopefully we'll get his melodious voice back on the air. AMI number 1671, and knowing the swap and roundtable, but I will be listening through. So with that, back to you, Steve. KF6SYD, K6VWS.
All right, Ron. I heard from Ron a month or two ago. He'll just be thinking about you, and in this case, he was thinking about you, Ron, and he'll just call you up and talk for about 15, 20 minutes, and it's nice to hear from him every once in a while. But glad to hear he's still chugging along, and if he does get back on, that will be quite a treat. So, got our fingers crossed. Oh, and I checked the weather forecast for Long Beach for next Sunday, Christmas Day, and it's not. They're not saying 80 degrees anymore. They're saying 82 now. So, and then next few days cool back down, just a little hot spell, a little east wind, I guess, for make it hot for 2 or 3 days, and it'll cool back down again. So that's what they're saying for up here, and I would imagine that there'd be a similar warm up for all of y'all, because you're close enough where you get the same thing. Here in California, in Southern California, we'll probably all get that a little bit. So we'll see what happens. Next up, Mike, KM6QQU. It's your turn. Go ahead.
All right, thanks, Steve. KF6SYD. This is KM6QQU. Mike out of Yucca Valley. Running the Johnson backing variant with the Turner Plus 3 microphone, and receiving on the SX28. Got the full wave loop antenna being tuned in with the SA2060A hip antenna tuner. AMI number is 1768. No on the round table, no on the swap. I'll listen for a little bit, but I'm getting cold out here. So back over to you, Steve. KF6SYD, this is KM6QQU.
I remember your shack. Yeah, not attached to the rest of the house. It would be. You wouldn't want to just heat that separate for a little bit of time you're out there. So, yeah, imagine you'd be shivering away a little bit. Have a few. Boy, a reflective power. twist. Oh, that's the wrong way with that one too. Try the other knob. That's getting worse. Yes. 0. Okay. Now I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Big signal. When we have a path, we really connect, Mike. So have a good one. And go back in the house and get warm when it's time. Let's see if Clark's still out here, because I don't hear from Clark very much. I don't know. This is out of order. My apologies. W7WRX Clark, are you out there still? KF Success YD calling. I knew it. Okay. Oh well. I'll call him again in a little bit, but Clark's gone. Okay, remotely from Tyler, Texas. You wouldn't be able to tell by listening to him, but that's what they tell me. WA6JKN, Kevin, it's your turn. Go ahead. Yeah, there's a carrier, and then there's a lines at every couple of KCs. We can't hear them. You'd think there'd be audio with those 4 lines on each side of the carrier representing tones about every couple of KCs on out to about 3871 and down. Anyway, Kevin, I guess remote's kind of... Why don't you try it again? WA6JKN. You want to take one more shot at it, or we'll listen for you. That then, and you can't walk in the room and fix it. I don't know what happened, Kevin, but well, I'll call you later. We'll see if you can you can probably tune off to know if you're going to see and make it work again, or talk over me. I don't care. We'll try you again in a little bit, Kevin. Ron, K6ZTA, over to you. How you doing tonight?
Okay, Steve. Yeah, doing good. Thank you. Yeah, KF6SYZ, KF6SYD, yeah, K6ZTA. Yeah, we're doing good. We've got we're in Woodland Hills out here in the valley, and temperature's cold, in the 40s. That's cool. I know that Bob says Chicago is, this is not a bothersome to him, being from Chicago, brought up in Chicago. At any rate, we're really missing ADX at this point, and there's some equipment that he's got that we're gonna try to find good homes for, and test instruments, some very sophisticated stuff, including a rubidium standard, if you're interested. And then there's the radios and the amps and so on. And but I'll let Bob talk to that at the right time, whatever time he says he wants to say something about that. Anyway, the rig here is the transmitter is the Viking 2, and the receiver is the S53A with the Heathkit Q multiplier. And on the transmit side, the microphone is D104, and the antenna tuner is the 2060, Heathkit 2060, and the antenna is an inverted V at 50, apex at 55 feet, roughly. And the AMI number is 1757, and outside no on the swap and no on the round table. And very good evening to everyone. And we'll be listening around here. K6SYD, K6ZTA.
All right, Vaughn. Yeah, I'm sorry we lost him. Well, I know his musical instruments aren't up for grabs. I think his daughter's gonna keep all of those. That's what he told me. Guess he got quite a bit of that too. But the radio stuff, that sounds like quite a lot of good stuff. So we'll wait and see when you guys are ready to offer them what it is and what we might want out of that. Thanks, Don. N6BZY Paul. How are you doing tonight? KF6SYD. Paul must have gone off for a few minutes. Well, I've got people to go back to and try again. He'll be on the list. But Phil's always there. N6WHK. Phil, go ahead and take your turn.
KF6SYD, November 6th, Whiskey Hotel Kilo. Paul probably got a call from one of his daughters. That's usually her awful hot football game. Anyway, they might come back. Well, I'm running the normal equipment tonight. Johnson Viking Ranger, the Hammerlin HQ-110, L4B, Johnson Matchbox, just to keep everything in check. D104 mic, not amplified. I run my wrestler on those. What more can I say about it? About 235, 240 feet of wire, and a diamond counter configuration, and it seems to be doing a good job for me. And my number is 1661, and no sweat for trade. I'll be listening out, N6WHK.
JKN's back.
Kevin, you better grab it while it's good. Go ahead, Kevin.
Oh yeah, we have bad weather up here, and apparently it affects the internet, so I lost the internet. No problem, just had to reinitialize everything. But anyway, this is Kevin, operating remote in Tyler, Texas, operating full legal limit. I'm copying everybody just fine. Just want to say before I turn it back to net control that I'm very, very sorry to hear about Bob there. I'm sure he's in a better place and no longer in pain. I really enjoyed Bob there. So the very best of 73, and good night to everybody from Tyler, Texas. This is WA6JKN, back to net control.
All right, Kevin. Well, it worked real good that time. Yeah, sorry about the internet problems, but it's still good. Still sounds good too. Good evening to you, and Phil. Yeah, good to have you with us too. And Big Signal out of San Diego. And yeah, Paul probably got a phone call like you said, so we'll try him back in a little bit. Put out a call and see if there's anyone who wants to get on the list. If you're not on the list yet for the net and you want on, please call me now, KF6SYD listening.
NA7OH is here, NA7OH.
All right, Bob. It wouldn't be a net without you, so now we got you. And yeah, I thought of talking while I thought about speaking while I was writing, and just thinking about it I couldn't make a letter O. It turned into a 6. It's a letter O now. All right. Yeah, you're down about 8 more on the list, Bob. So we'll get to you pretty soon. Andy, you're not in. I don't think you're in the middle of nowhere, but you're still in nowhere. KD6 TKX. Andy, how you doing tonight?
And 6BZY. I'm glad, Steve, and nice to hear you. Thanks for running the net tonight. KF6SYD, this is KD6 TKX Andy, middle of nowhere, and then Vic is center of nowhere. He's had that staked out for a while, but I'm at a place called Curry Mountain here in southwest Fresno County. The next big retirement destination. Just kidding. It's funny to me. Well, you'd think it was funny if you saw how remote the place is, but anyways, good to hear everyone. Sorry to hear about Bob, who's a silent key, and just always, I don't know, as you get older, it's I call it the landscape of adulthood. Certain things are going to happen. You know, you're going to lose your parents, you're going to lose friends, but there's a lot of other good stuff that happens too. So I try to keep that in mind. But I am sorry to hear about Bob passing there. Tonight I am running my newest transmitter acquisition in a while. It's a Collins TCB, which is it was built in February of '41, and it's a Collins transmitter built for the Navy, but it's really a 16E, which was a pre-war one of their transmitters. It's interesting transmitter. It's got 10 auto-tune channels, and it runs a single 813 in the final. So relatively low power, just about 110 watts a carrier. And yeah, so I finally kind of finished this project, and the last thing that was needed was a way to actually use it, place to plug in a mic and a key, and have it integrated into the operating position here, the local operating position table. And right in the center of that table is a official, correct Navy, not a typewriter. It's called a mill, and this is on loan from Wayne, because when he heard that I had the table but no typewriter, he offered to loan me this typewriter to give it a place to keep it. And I'm sure I'm happy about that. I'm sure it's nice of him, and it sure kind of makes it. The receiver's an RB made by RCA. The antenna's a resonant fan dipole. No swap, no roundtable, but great to hear everybody tonight. Thank you to Ron for running the earlies. Steve, thank you for running the net, doing a great job as always. Hope you have a good firewood collection mission coming up here. That sounds like fun. And good, kind of kill two birds with one stone there. Do some clearing out of the place up there and get some firewood. Sounds like a good deal to me. So with that, I'll say my 73s, but I'll be listening. KF6SYD, KD6TKX.
Okay, 6 little green light.
And 6B.
Okay, Skip, I've got you. Paul's back. Let's see. I'll write down Skip. And Andy, yeah, I'll can't you get something I know what it is? I'll look it up and see what it is. Yet another radio I've never heard of. That's fantastic the way you do that. It all works. That sounds like it really sounds good, and it's enough power to hear you just fine tonight. So, yeah, you are in the middle of nowhere. Okay, now I know about that. Andy, good to hear you, and I'll be seeing what kind of radio that is. Okay, Paul in 6BZY. Thanks for popping back in. It's your turn. Go ahead, Paul.
K6SYD in the group and 6BZY. Yeah, I went to go on the air and I had hide SWR. What the heck's going on? Well, evidently, my antenna tuner, one of the knobs must have got bumped or something. So after a little fooling around, I figured it out, put my antenna analyzer on there and retuned took the coax off the back of the Super Senior. Tuned the tuner back to resonant, hooked it back up, and everything seems to be in order. Yep, almost nothing. So I don't know what the heck happened. Just decided to get feisty. Now we're down to no SWR. So there we are. Anyway, AMI number 278. Honolulu's Paul, QTH Lemon Grove, just east of San Diego. Running the usual stuff, the Super Senior 8040 model, 300 watt carrier, and B104 microphone, through a Dentron Super Tuner to an inverted V of 35 feet, MC300 on the receive side. A lot of weird QSD on everybody, but I was able to get everybody through. So nothing for the, I do have something for the swap. I do have a Drake TR4 for sale. It's got the Hardbuck updated AC4 power supply, D104 microphone. It comes with a MFJ 945B antenna tuner, which matches it up quite well. And let's see, what else does it have with it? It doesn't have a manual with it, I don't think, but they're available online, so no big deal there. So we'll start out somewhere around $300, but I will entertain any offer. 619-248-9345. 6 hours, yeah.
Yeah, Skip, I've got you on the list. So stand by. We'll get down to you. And see if Paul wants to. All we did was miss the last digit of your phone number. You want to, I think the transmitter checked down. It's XBZY, King Success ID. Alright, let's see if we can do this. And Paul, thanks for checking in. You sound good. Paul has for offering for sale Drake TR4 with the power supply, an MFJ. Didn't get to write it down which one. Tuner goes with it, works good with it, and he's starting at like $300 for the whole thing. But it's negotiable. Area 619-298-934, and I don't know the last digit. So that gives you only 10 numbers to dial. You can call Paul, but his transmitter tripped, I believe, before he could say the last digit of his phone number. Paul, back over to you if you want to give us that last digit, and then we'll move on with the list. N6BZY KF6SYD.
Paul's transmitter died, and the last digit is 9. Number 9.
Okay. Yeah, I failed to realize it along with the rest of you. Yeah, Paul, N6BZY. Area 619-298-9349 if you're interested in the Drake TR4 with the power supply and the tuner. Thanks, Phil. Oh, Jay, NY6L in cold Hysteria. Wonder how you got all the firewood. Jay, go ahead. It's your turn.
Well, good evening. Well, I know, well, it's a deep subject. Jay here at NY6L. Here in cold Hesperia, which is presently 38 degrees, going to drop down to 28. Well, when I got bought the house, I had, let's see, quite a bit of firewood here that the previous owner had graciously had left, which is great. I've been sharing some of it with my neighbor there, Ken, K6CJ, and Ken, if you're listening, give me a holler if you need any more firewood. Got plenty here. AMI number 1548. We're running the original equipment here for right now. Excuse me, the 8040 meter Super Senior into a MFJ 3 kilowatt roller inductor tuner. And keep that SWR nice and flat so things don't kick out. National.
I knew it.
Radios are cursed.
I knew as soon as he said that it was going to trip out. And I was like, wow. Okay, I'm going to come back to Jay in a minute here. Had tuner problems tonight, Paul. I don't know if Jay had tuner problems or not, but Paul sure did. I'll get back to you, Jay. We'll put another arrow on the thing here. And Paul, got done with Paul. Take the arrow away. George, W6YEC. On the, I don't know what rig you're on. There's a lot of bass. It is very clear, nice sounding, but it don't have sparkle, but you don't need it. It's your turn, George. Go ahead.
All right. Well, just to help the AMers out, I went to the Gonset Twins with the D102 microphone. So there you go. That's what we're running here tonight, George, in Lemon Grove. Number 1197. And Paul trying to get rid of his TR4, as you heard, but in the process, he blew up the scene. I don't know about blowing up, but anyway, what happened was it went out on him. And they turned it back on. I guess the one on the on or off switch is on, but the display is gone and no working. So who knows what happened on that? So I assumed he got the SWR fixed and it was working there. So, but I don't know if there was some connection or what. And by the way, the phone number correction I should say, is 619-248-9349. 248-9349. Anybody that wants to try to get a hold of Paul. And I'll say, since we're talking about TR4s, my Drake C-line is available. And we're thinning down a little bit here, and I've got a TR4. I like it. So it gave me a little more room on the desk over there. I've had fun for so many years with the Drakes and Collins and all of that, so it's time for somebody else to enjoy the C-line. It's beautiful. It's got the Sherwood mods for filtering. It's got it's got extra crystals on the warp bands and 160 and short wave, so it's got all that. I've left the chart on that. The R4C and then the T4XC, very nice condition, beautiful, looks great, and that's got the AC4 that's been updated, the Harbuck upgrades, and MS4 speaker, and it's got all the manuals, original manuals. It's just very, very nice. $950 would take it, and it's working. Has been working. I just disconnected it, but it's right here. Anybody interested in come and check it out and all that. 619-277-6043. And I know it's an AM net, but I've also got a couple MFJ keyers. Anybody looking for a keyer? The CW, the Venture paddle. MFJ on the keyer side of it. And I've got a couple of those around. And anybody out there in boat anchors that has an HRO, if you need an extra, or if you need the D plug-in, pretty standard. It's the 160 through 80 meters with the 80 meter band spread. I have one here, 50 hours for that, for the coil for an HRO receiver, HRO 60. All right, that's it, Steve. No on a round table, but I'll be listening. Thank you very much for the net. And we're running the Gonset Twins, by the way, here. Driving the Dentron, so right at 300 watts. Back to you. Hope you're doing well. Don't know if we're going to connect this week, but I'd love to if we can. KF6SYD, W6YE6.
Okay, George. Gonset Twins up Brooklyn. Sounds real good. And yeah, we'll see about May Thursday or something. Looking forward to that. And, yeah, Paul, N6BZY, correct phone number is 619-248-9349. And it was a 4, but it looked like a 9 because I scribbled it, so that's the reason. And George, W6YEC, has a really good Drake C line available. That the goodness of it is too much for me to remember and repeat. But in very good condition, area 619-277-6043 if you're interested in $950 for the Drake C line. Thank you, George. And Paul, the Super Senior, that's bad. Kind of need to have well, I hope he's able to get that working without a whole lot of hassle. But that's unfortunate. Jay, NY6L, let's go back to you and see how you're doing with yours. It tripped out and you didn't get to finish saying whatever you wanted to tell us. So NY6L, back over to you, KF6SYD.
Yeah, went into highest of the real shutdown for some reason, so I'm going to keep a close eye on this here. So, okay, AMI number 1548, and running the fussy transmitter here. It did it again. Hold on a second. Let's see here. 1 2 1 2. All right. Let's see if that. Okay. We're keeping an eye on this thing here. All right. Okay. Where was I? All right. Fussy Super Senior. Usual equipment. D104 microphone. Dual band antenna. 80-40 meter antenna. 3 kilowatt. MFJ roller inductor tuner, the usual stuff here. Okay, the NC303, National NC303, and I am looking for a 440 amplifier solid state that I could drive with probably about 30 watts and 100 watts or so out or thereabouts, and a 220 amplifier solid state I could drive with 25 watts. Between 70 and 100 watts out. So if anybody got something floating around they're not using, I would like to buy those. And I could leave a phone number or whatever, cell phone, or get a hold of me or on the air or what have you. So back to you there, Steve. Transmitter's happy now, so I'm just keeping an eye on things here. KF6SYD, NY6L, transmitter hanging in there. Go ahead, Steve.
Okay, Jay, you pulled it through. Yeah, my transmitter has failed, and it is just really hard to fix when this thing goes down because I can't find the problem. And I eventually do, and I fix it. But I pray for it, and I'm thankful when it works, and I hope it keeps working tonight. And Jay's looking for a solid state 440 amplifier, UHF, and solid state 220 amplifier. I think he wants to drive each one of them with like 20 watts. So if you got something, look Jay up in QRZ NY6L and let him know, because he's looking for one of each of those. Thanks, Jay. And let's go out to where the weather's different. W8 Victor Golf. I put N8. I don't know your call letters anymore, George. George, you know who you are. It's your turn. KF6SYD calling.
Terrible shot. KF6SYD and the group W8 Victor Golf. The best way, Steve, is W8 vintage gear. That's what we're actually running here tonight. I'm not cheating. I'm on the hollow state. This is George out here in Oro Valley, which is about 10 miles north of Tucson, the old Pueblo. usual stuff. Well, actually, I'm a little different tonight. I'm back on the old stuff. I'm running the pair of 813s are modulated by a pair, running the legal limit, and back on the R390. Fired the old girl up. This is the first time I've had her on for a while. I've only been using my old JRC. Just about as old, but well, no, it's from the 80s. Anyways, let's see. Antenna's an inverted V for 160, fed with ladder line down here to a homebrew link tuner. You want to go to 2 meters? Yeah, Steve, I'll tell you. The weather here's different. It's cold. It's warm during the day. You know, it gets up into the 60s, but at night it gets down into, we've had in the high 20s. And the frost got some of my banana trees I brought down here from Fullerton, but they'll come out of it. But we went up to Colorado here over the weekend. I've got a place up there in the mountains outside of Denver, and went up there to look at a bathroom that was remodeled, and that looked good. But the high up there near Breckenridge was, I think the 2 days we were there was 8. And with the wind chill, it was about like -5. So I'm happy with Tucson weather. I'm never going to complain again here. We can go out and ski too. I've seen 3 runs down the mountain. This is too cold.
Yeah, we can try.
Anyway, what's going on here? Big shout out to my friend Kevin, JKN out in Tyler. And Kevin, got your text there. Be glad to see you when you come over here. So give me a buzz when you know a little more, and let me know. We're going to be around. Hope to see you. Sorry to hear about the super seniors trip in there with Paul and Jay. I've got 2 of those suckers here, and we have that problem from time to time. Usually, in my case, it's something going on in the antenna, or the tuner, right? When they're working on voice speech or anything like that. I did have blown a couple of feds, and I sent Bruce DYY an email, and he's always like, send it back. He's great. He'll work on it. I said, no, I can do board work. Just tell me briefly how you troubleshoot it, which he did. A couple of sentences, and I bought a sleeve of mouse. You might think got them here for when I have problems there. These old 813, Steve, they're not too picky. Anyways, I don't have a whole lot going on here. No AMI number, nothing to buy, sell, swap, or trade. I got enough junk here to work on for a while, and will not hang around for the round table. I might listen a little bit. Anyway, Steve, thanks for taking the note this evening. And Ron, if you're listening here, thanks so much for taking the notice. KF6, SYD, W8 Victor Golf. Back to you, Steve.
Okay, George. Real good transmission, and yeah, I knew it was W, but I wrote down N on the pillows, and I'm like, am I right or was I right? And I couldn't trust myself. So yeah, W8 Victor Golf. I kind of knew that, but that's not what it said on the paper. The banana trees, I hope they come back. And 8 degrees, I've never done that. I guess things I've never done in life. I've never gone out in 8 degrees and have experienced that. So that would be a new one. Julie and I need to go traveling, experience all that kind of stuff one of these days. Real good on the sets and the skiing and all that. Catch you next time, George. Next up, Bob, WA9. JIB, Bob, it's finally your turn. Go ahead.
Bob over here in La Cañada. So first a little comment would be wonderful to hear however. I remember him from my very earliest days of getting on this net. So he was an inspiration to me. Get into modulation. So if you're listening in, we miss you. It'd be wonderful to hear you on again. And speaking of listening in, our friend Jed, got a text from him shortly before midnight. He'll be listening. He's listening to the R390 tonight, or 390 or 398. And just received some of
his receivers hooked up, but transmitter's not hooked up yet. Needs to build another tier. He's getting close though. Fairly soon. Maybe in a few days, maybe in a couple of weeks. The airwaves for 3870. So anyway, JIB is using his usual land station at D104 on Viking Valiant version 1.0. Under my emergency dipole, which hangs off the 35-foot mast. I don't think my Valiant here. Oh, you gotta love it. You gotta love this old American stuff. How outrageous that radio is flying 40. What? My receiver is a Hammerland HQ129 X-ray, on which I'm hearing everybody tonight. Anyway, at my number. Yeah, Vaughn, I sent a preliminary list to you just before net time. Prime station was Kenwood. He loved Kenwood. PS 940S. He had to go with it. The AMON, the speakers, the speaker that goes with it, and then 360 mic. So I'll get more info. We're just at the early stages of making an inventory. Tons of high-end test equipment, HP, stuff like that. Two towers. One is a mast, 60-footer with a. He's got a CH3 beam. He has a 40-foot truss tower with a work band homebrew design, which worked very well. So, but Vaughn and I will keep working on trying to come up with the problem there is his daughter wants to remodel the house, so a little bit of time crunch here, but maybe we can move much of stuff in the garage. So anyway, I will have more answer, but if anybody's interested in a prime Kenwood station with a field link amp, you can reach me through QRZ. Let's see, I will say probably no roundtable for me tonight. Got plenty of things to do around here. But good. So back to you, Steve, and I'm almost announced Ham 6S by me.
Okay, Bob. Thanks for giving us a brief rundown on Bob's equipment, and we look forward to getting the official list and stuff. But yeah, we'll miss him. And yeah, it'd be great if Ron W6ON would get back on. It could happen. And I remember when we first met you, Bob, and he was tickled because you worked for JPL and all that. And I remember he talked about you quite a bit when you were new with our group when you weren't on yourself, and sharing pictures that you would send him of planet Earth taken a zillion miles. It's not that far away from one of the Voyagers. So yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed for Ron to return and be with us again for a while. Okay, I have 3 more stations on the list, and before I begin the final countdown, is there anyone out there that wants on the list to get on the list for the net before I continue with the net? If so, please comment.
AI6LY.
AI6LY. Anyone else? Alright, that was worth doing. WA6JUS, John, it's your turn. How you doing tonight?
Hi, Steve. Pretty good. Hello to the group. WA6JUS 1258 on the Big Mamu, and 150 200-some feet of wire up and down, but a loop of sorts with a wireless line and a kilowatt matchbox. And let's see. Well, I don't go skiing, but the end of the year, December 31st, Wind and Sea Surf Club has a contest there at Wind and Sea where the hut is. And so we're going to do a repeat of what we did last March. Making plans for that as far as the training, the surf tunes, and rigging, getting the rigs. Going up to visit a friend who has a recording studio tomorrow, and with a couple of guys from the surf shop in tow. We had a good time out in Alpine. Met more people. So little by little we're strengthening and broadening things. Trying to keep my energy up. So put me down for the round table. Okay, ticket Wednesday. This is W6JUS.
All right, John, got you. You're the first person that wanted to be, unless I screwed it up. That's possible too. But you're the first one of us who has wanted to stay for the round table tonight. And I've got you down for that. We'll see if there's someone else that wants to stick around and chat. Next is NA7RH Bob. Well, thought maybe you wouldn't make it, so I'm glad you did. NA7RH KF6SYD.
Okay, KF6SYD, 107RH. I hope you can hear me. Somehow I'm not putting out the kind of power I'm used to, but it doesn't seem to help. KF6SYD on the net, NA7RH, Bob here in the Phoenix area, running the old 60Q5 sweep tube special, an 8236 modulated by 4 1625s and 10 push pull out of the 61 through 64 8 of Royal Hendon. Well, I was listening to Clarence yesterday when he was talking about his 20V2 adventures, and when you referred to having trouble finding problems there, Steve, it triggered my memory of what he went through yesterday, and it's amazing the things he had to fix, and he did it in a week. It's amazing. He had a low voltage transformer that was shorted, and a high voltage was shorted to the insulator, and the screen B+ was run to ground through 2 kilo 150 watt resistor that someone had Hammy put it in there. Hammy put it in the 20V2 where it shouldn't be, and okay, he finally got it all working in a week, which was an amazing piece of work, I think. Knowing all the things that he listed that he had to fix. I guess he's not done, but that was an interesting adventure to hear about. I've been listening to you and everyone else on my little Cato portable line output going into the high-pass speaker and using the magnetic loop to give it a little bit of rejection of out-of-band signals there, and listening on hi-fi for most of the net here. So, but I was also trying to get done with the spreadsheet, and it was driving me crazy, and that's why I'm late, among other things. So, anyway, nothing to swap, no on the round table, AMI number 1543. Great to hear everyone this evening, and hopefully you're hearing me a little bit anyway. Back to you, Steve. KF6SYD, in the net at 878.
Right, Bob. And yeah, I had both SDRs fired up, and I don't have you local. Northern Utah was really good for listening to you right now, and thanks for the rundown on Clark and what he went through. I'm glad I didn't get anything that needed that much work. I'd probably still be trying to get it running. This thing had the wrong resistors for the B plus on the audio amplifier tubes. They were getting like 700 volts, and they were not supposed to have that much, like half that much. It's something like that. It's hard to remember. Anyway, they were running hot, and I looked, and I found those resistors, and they were just the wrong ones, and I put the right ones in, and it fixed that, and everything else is just, converting to the frequency I wanted it to operate on, which was, well, that ended up working out. Anyway, we'll hear Clark sometime. Sorry I missed him earlier this evening. You have a good evening, Bob, and interesting on the receiving setup you've got there. Next up, Skip, K6LGL, it's your turn. Go ahead.
Well, thank you very much, Steve. Good evening to everybody in San Diego area. My net, this is Skip in Santa Monica, K6 Little Green Light. And interesting, this is a propagation. Lots of QSD, but solo signals for the most part, so can't complain. Thanks for doing the net, Steve. I missed it early, so I couldn't hear what was going on there at that time. Just a busy time of the year. Anyway, I was thinking of a pair of phonetics for George there in Oro Valley, Arizona. VH vegetable greens. WHVG. So there you go. That works out fairly good. All right, and the protective SWR circuit that protects the Class D amplifiers. They are peculiar, very sensitive to any increase in SWR. Territory. Running my usual Benton Harbor oversized lunchbox, weight modulated lunchbox known as the DS-400. So, the Humble antenna, which has been out there for about a generation, and the old microphone, which worked a couple of times. So. Nothing fancy receiving on my up-to-date SDR receiver. So, I want to wish for this early Merry Christmas. Some of you might catch it on Wednesday still. On Christmas Eve, which is, Saturday. That's canceled, and I suspect most of the nets are maybe on Sunday are also canceled Christmas Day. So best of 71st to everybody, and keep the filaments lit. That'll be fun. Keep running our own equipment. Steve, back to you. Best of 73s, and hey, everybody stay healthy. K6LGL.
All right, Skip. Yeah, got you good on KFS. I didn't have one local on you tonight. But glad to be able to sneak you in here and see you on Wednesday. And next and last, and I'll check to see if there's anyone else, is John, AI6LY. John, what's my phone? John, it's your turn. Go ahead.
KF6SYD in the group, AI6LY. Good evening, everybody, and thanks for squeezing me in there, Steve. I hear you pretty good, but the band is really rough up here tonight. Lots and lots of noise. So, anyway, running the usual rig 104 into the Johnson Commander 2, into the big amp, probably 300 watts of carrier, listening on the 75A1 on the receive side. AMI number 1773. No swap, no roundtable, and I'm going to be taking off for a couple of weeks here, so I won't be back until the New Year. So I wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and thanks as always for taking the net. Steve, you do a great job. KF6SYD and the group, good evening, AI6LY.
Thank you, John. Good to hear you. Glad you snuck in at the tail end. And is there anyone else that wants to check in before I close the net? Please call now.
WJ6W.
Dave, yes. How are you tonight? It's your turn, Dave. Go ahead.
Okay, Steve, thanks. KF6SYD, WJ6W. Yeah, well, I'm making an appearance here on Mondays. Kind of a rare one for me. Usually don't get in the shop on Mondays. But really good conditions, and I'm running the Super Senior here tonight, and I heard Jay with his little issues, and I guess someone else was running one with a problem tonight, and I had a problem the other night too. And it was basically, I think, I had to put the tuner in line, which I haven't had to for some time, but I think it's basically after a big rainstorm a week ago, which we did about 3.5 inches of rain over here. The ground is still pretty wet under the antenna area, so I guess it changed the characteristic of the antenna enough that the Super Senior didn't like it. So anyway, I think it's somehow in here. AMI number 1235, and no swap and no roundtable. They're sounding great. Steve, back to you. KF6SYD, WJ6W.
Okay, Dave. Well, thanks for sneaking in at the end here. I'm glad I called out. And, yeah, Paul in 6BZY had his malfunction. He tried to fire it back up, and the display doesn't light up. The power switch comes on, there's no display, you know, where it tells you what frequency you're on and all that. That's not there. So it did, evidently, did some damage. He had the tuner like shorted, something like that, and he fixed that, and then the Super Senior worked for another 15-20 seconds, and then it went kapoof. So I hope he doesn't have a whole lot of hassle getting that going again. You sound good tonight, Dave, and yeah, Super Senior, super problems tonight. Let's see. Will that do it? Let's check. Is there anyone else who would like to check in on the net before I close it? If so, please call now.
Just let you know, Paul's working on his Super Senior. It won't come back on. Might be the on and off switch has got a breaker on it, you know, and the light comes on for the on and off, but the light doesn't light up, so probably that breaker went out. Just for information.
That's good. Maybe it's not so bad. Don't want to paint the picture darker than it really is. Thanks, George. I'll be rooting for Paul. Okay, that's it for the net tonight. And thank you all for being here. And we could all spend some time together like we just did. So really enjoyed it, and I hope all of you did as well. And it's time for the round table. There's only that I wrote down at least is that John, WA6JUS. Anyone out here who would like to stick around and talk with John, please do so. Let him know you're here. I've got something I've got to go do, so I won't be sticking around tonight for the round table. Everyone have a good evening. And John, I'll turn it over to you. And good luck getting some participation. WA6JUS. It's your show now. KF6SYD.